What's going on, hockey fans? Another week, another NCDC this week. NCDC last week? No, NCDC this week. We're talking about the past week in NCDC hockey, our Tier 2 National Collegiate Development Conference. Tuition free hockey is reigning supreme across NCDC Nation right now, and there's no man that I'd rather talk 14 game win streaks with, that I'd rather talk about maybe one of his predictions about a team being the best in one of these divisions not coming to fruition for him of late. And a man who's just he's a myth. He's a legend. He's I don't know, he's Mike Consigliere, he's Monfrere for another mayor. He's King Charcuterie. Lucas Jones, what's going on?
What's going on? Having some fun over here, catching up on the NCDC standings after a long and I think well-deserved weekend off. Dan, you and I took the weekend off to relax, recharge, and just kind of hit the reset button a little bit. But these NCDC organizations certainly did not. We had games on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We had games kicking off on a Friday after Thanksgiving. We had Lucas Jones on the 12th hole getting tech support phone calls thinking there's no games on Friday. How could this be? And then all of a sudden, hey, got a question for you. Well, I blame my swing for that phone call, but we're back. We're ready to talk about the NCDC, and there's a few interesting things happening.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's been a bit of a swing in the Mountain Division, and that's where we start this one. How about this Utah Outliers team right now, Lucas? Starting to heat up a bit. They are able to get a win against Provo, a team that you said was the best of the best and the team to beat in this Mountain Division. Right now, Provo falling to third place, but with 2 games in hand on Utah. So still plenty of time to jump over that 26-point mark Utah has. Provo with 24. Ogden, my boys, the team I told you were the team to beat in this Mountain Division, standing atop the list, led by Kenny Orlando, 15-3-1-1, 32 points in the year, plus 35 goal differential. But let's talk Utah of late, Lucas. 6-3-0-1 in their last 10. More importantly, 4 straight victories. They enjoyed their Thanksgiving weekend very well. 12-7, 0-2 on the year. This is a team that I'd pay double to my internet provider to get crisp, clear, HD vision to watch each and every night. This Outliers team, no outliers on this roster. This team can get the job done.
I mean, look, we've all had the interactions with coaches and players when we tell them that we don't think they're going to be the top team, right? We didn't say that we thought Utah would be bad, but we thought that Ogden and Provo were going to be top of the charts. But I think for Utah right now, they're looking at me and they're telling me to stay in my lane, which is something I usually tell to other folks, right? Stay in your lane, talk about what you know about, and stay right there. But listen, I'm willing to take that criticism any day of the week. I still do think Provo, only being a few points out of the race here is going to make a run. These are the ebbs and flows we talk about a lot. Utah in their last 10 games has actually lost ground to Ogden, even though they're on a 4-game win streak here. So a little bit of a topsy-turvy. The big thing when you're looking at stats that kind of contradict each other here, Dan, when you have a Provo team that's played less games, when you have a streak that seems to lose your ground, you got to watch the games, right? The eye test. When the stats fail you, you got to go to Flow Hockey and watch. And that's why it's so important to be able to sit down, get that Flow Hockey account, and watch all of these games on replay, even if you can't watch them live.
Yeah, and you look at the last 4 games, this 4-game winning streak. You've got 2 wins against Rock Springs sandwiched in the middle there, 1 in OT, 1 in regulation. The big storyline at home, a shutout victory over Ogden. At home again, a 3-goal advantage, a 3-goal victory over Provo. So they've beaten 2 of those top horses in the Mountain Division. This is going to be a dogfight the rest of the way. Look at the month of December for Utah. This is where you're gonna separate wheat from chaff, right? You're gonna figure out, is Utah a contender, or is Utah kind of that pretender that might fall into the 3-4 range? Are they going to be a team that has a chance to go for this Deneen Cup? December 1st and 2nd at home against Idaho Falls. You got to get 3 points at home out of that series. That's a tough Idaho Falls team, but when you get to play them away from that 4,000-seat barn packed every single night, you got to take advantage of it. Then they go on the road to Provo. It doesn't get bigger than that on December 8th. Follow that up with the Idaho Falls Spud Kings in that 4,000-seat arena. Then they've got the showcase we'll be at. They'll have 3 games over 3 days at the Mountain America Center. One against Ogden, Friday night against Idaho Falls, which could be huge, and then Rock Springs. Then they finish the month right into New Year's Eve with a 3 game set with Pueblo, Lucas. That is a lot of December hockey to be played in Utah.
Yeah, it's a lot of hockey, right? But I think this Utah team is well equipped for it, right? They put people in the right places to succeed. They've got an incredible fitness program that they work with that keeps the boys in shape. We've seen these guys skate end to end for seems like hours, days, weeks, right before they get tired. They do have a tough schedule. They're going to be playing a lot of different teams, but that's why we love this Mountain Division, right? They play home and homes. They play one and ones. Sometimes you even have a split weekend against 3 different teams. So there's a lot that could happen over a short period of time. The streaks are going to be important. Finding those little 1.2 point gains, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, you look at David Ukin, a year 2005 birth year, leading the way for them with 26 points, 16 goals, 10 assists. Garrett Joss, Daniil Chuparnov, Makar Klachkov. Like Klachkov with 11 points in the year and 13 games played only. He's a 2004. Magzan Sagadiev with 9 points on the season. Grant Burback. This is a team with a lot of international flair on it, a lot of young talent. They've really gone the way of the young talent here in Utah. I'm excited to watch the Outliers the rest of the way. Provo, again, 2 games in hand still on Utah. A lot of hockey to be played. We will be celebrating the Mountain Division in just a few weeks, Lucas. We've got the plan. I'm going to look at my schedule here. It says Dan K. Focus. Oh, sorry. That's my new clock feature from Microsoft that tells me to focus every couple hours to get me
Love that
back.
feature. Truthfully, love that feature.
It's a big helpful feature right here, okay? But we start. Lucas and I will be flying into Salt Lake City, okay? For those of you who want to be a welcoming party, maybe get the signs and everyone will start hammering the horns at the airport. And
Dan K, Dan K, Dan K.
dang, okay, we're feeling it. We're feeling it.
Yeah.
December 13th, we land in Salt Lake. Why? We're going to go sneak a Knicks game in, okay? Knicks are playing the Utah Jazz. I'm a big Knicks fan. Lucas, you kind of become a bigger Knicks fan over the years here. Knicks basketball. Then we're going to trip our way up to Idaho Falls. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will be in Idaho Falls celebrating the Mountain Division. Get your tickets now at the Mountain America Center. 3 games a day for 3 days. There's nothing better than that, Lucas.
It's going to be a fun trip. It's going to be, it really is going to be exciting. I mean, it's going to be our first time up at that arena. It's going to be our first time in Idaho Falls. And it's going to be the first time we get to see all these teams all in one building. We're going to be there all day. It's going to be a vibe. That's the big thing.
Got a vibe. Baby, are you coming for the ride? I think I sound better than Willow Smith. I think I do.
I truthfully don't think you do.
I think I do. Look, there's a lot of people who say, it's the most important trait to have is the ability to be kind of self-reflective and understand our capabilities and our shortfalls. And if there's one place I don't have a shortfall, it's everywhere. Let's keep moving to a team. Ready for this? Want to see how little shortfalls I have?
Yeah, I got you.
That sounded like, oh, Dan K just being full of himself. What a jerk! What an idiot! No, folks, that was called satire, and I utilize satire.
And because
to
I'm
get
so
us to
good at satire.
and watch this
Right.
to transition us. I'm going to transition us. So I said,
go for it.
flawless, unbeatable, unstoppable. Dan K has no faults. Let's go to a team in hockey that has no faults of late. The PAL Junior Islanders, who are 14-0 in their last 14. They that movie Fault in Our Stars? Man, what a tearjerker. What a beautiful movie from about 10 years ago for me to reference right now. There's no fault in the stars of the PAL Junior Islanders. These guys are dominating.
They're nobody's pals at this point. I mean, you look at what PAL has put together, the season they've got so far. It's potentially historic, I think, at this point, what they're doing so far. Shades of the very dominant run of the Jersey Hitmen over the last couple of years. They've almost doubled the point total of the next highest team, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. I mean, they are just so incredibly dominant in that Atlantic Division. It's going to take something extraordinary for another team to even attack that number one spot.
Yeah, and Ty Broad's leading the way right now, points wise in the in the NCDC here. 12 games, 12 goals, 25 assists, 37 points. Carter Hanrahan and Colson Hanrahan, the Hanrahan brothers, combining for over 50 points, 6 goals for Carter, 4 goals for Colson on the blue line. Colson Hanrahan's a guy who I just put on my all Thanksgiving team for this NCDC at the blue line. If I'm a scout, I look no further than Colson Hanrahan to get onto my blue line. But the big story is Nick Bevilacqua. And this young man makes the move down from New England to play at PAL. And the stats are unrealistic. 749 shots faced. He's only allowed 34 goals. He's got a 1.77 goals against. He's got a 9.55 saves percentage. He's got 3 shutouts. He's 16, 1, 1, and 1. The fact that this young man even exists in the game of hockey right now, he is unbelievable. He's unreal. If you're a scout, you are not watching this guy every night, calling the phone, dialing up whatever you got to do to try to get this guy into your building. The market improvement year over year. Bevilacqua now 38 regular season wins in his NCDC career. He's been in the NCDC for 3 seasons. His first had just 1 win in it. Struggle bus, right? A young netminder on a team that year that just wasn't greatly constructed, right? Didn't have it all that season, was figuring it out up there in Boston. Went 1-12, 3-1. Since then, he goes 21, 8, 3-1 last season with a 9.19 and 2.83. And then this year backs that up with a 16, 1-1 and 1, 1.77, 9.55. We ask players to get better each year. We ask teams to develop players. We ask players to develop themselves, put in the work on and off the ice. And then we want to see the results come when these guys climb the ladder in self-development, in personal development. Bevilacqua's done everything right. He's checked every box. This is a guy that if you were a scout and you're not scouting him right now, you're not putting him on your roster, you're outside your gourd. Get this guy.
I mean, we used to talk about, Dan, that the NCDC is establishing itself as a premier destination for goaltenders who want to go to the NCAA level. I think the NCDC has established itself, continues to prove that it is the premier place for goaltenders who want to go to the NCAA level. The development speaks for itself. And the netminders that have come out of the NCDC have just gone on to such heights after their careers in the NCDC.
Yeah, and talk about such heights. I mean, PAL right now, Lucas, a 19-point lead on second place. And after that, it's a logjam. You got Wilkes-Barre 21, Mercer with 20, Connecticut with 19, Jersey Hitmen with 17, Rockets with 17. And if I'm all the teams in the NCDC Atlantic right now, my biggest issue is this. I've allowed the Jersey Hitmen to stick around. There was a chance in the early going of this season when this Hitmen team was trying to figure it out to get away, to run, to get free of the rest of the pack, to get free from the Jersey Hitmen. And here they come, 8-12, 1-0, not where they want to be, but 17 points, just 2 points out of a playoff spot, 2 behind Jim Henkel and his Connecticut Junior Rangers. Mercer Chiefs and Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights ahead of them. That Atlantic Division will be a slugfest through the rest of the way to get those final 3 spots in the postseason. With PAL, I mean, heck, they may clinch next week at this point the way they're playing. These guys don't ever lose. Let's go check out the New England, Lucas, before we get to our picks for this week and update everybody there. The South Shore Kings in first, 15-3, 1-1, 32 points. Tied right now with the Islanders Hockey Club at 32. Utica starting to catch up to the tails there. Lost their last game, but 6-2, 1-1 in their last 10. Then a little separation before you get to the Boston Junior Bruins, Northern Cyclones, and Twin City Thunder, who right now seem to be playing for that 4th playoff spot. Let's start with Utica, Lucas. We already know how good South Shore and IHC have been. We've talked about them a lot. Let's talk about Utica this week in the time that we have. This Utica Junior Comets team, Coach Louis Educate, a +9 in goal differential, starting to see things trending in the right direction again. They started hot, cooled off, hot again. Let's go.
I think if you're going to talk about the Utica Junior Comets, maybe we talk about them the way you talk about a stock, right? The fundamentals are good, I think, for the Utica Junior Comets. We've seen the success. The numbers are there. They have a plus goal differential, and it comes on the back of scoring a lot of goals, a high-powered offense for sure. The defense is a place where, I'm sure they would love to improve a little bit, but 6-2, 1-1 in their last 10. That's a 6-2, 1-1 where they haven't gained any ground on number 2 and number 1, right? Yep. So you know that the teams ahead of them are keeping pace. But I think when you look at the differential that is there, The only other thing that worries me is the penalties that they take. And that can be a reason why they've got such a tight goal differential. Could be a reason why they're giving up at this stage of the game the second most goals in the New England division. But I think for this Utica team, there is a lot more track in front of them than behind them. This stock is going to go up. They're going to be battling for second. And if those top two teams slip, even for a weekend, you got to imagine that Utica might be right there to just hop them for the next spot.
Yeah, and Lucas, one guy I got to talk about on this Utica team goes by Robert Gatewood on the scorecard, but in real life he's going by Payne, and Payne has been bringing pain to teams all over the NCDC. 15 goals, 7 assists, 22 points in his 21 games played this year. It's over a point per game. Big power play star. 6 power play goals, 6 power play assists. But Dan, how do you know a guy is a special teams player? You look at the shorthanded side of the ice. Is he scoring on power plays, and is he killing them too? He does both. This is a guy who's getting prepared for the next level of the game wherever he ends up. He's got a shorthanded goal this season as well. He's killing penalties. He's scoring on penalties. Payne Gatewood, Robert Gatewood, whatever you call him, just don't call him late to the back of the net because he's scoring a bunch of goals. Waylon Esch settling into things yet again. We talked about the young netminder. Got off to a hot start, right? We said this Tier 2 game, older players, guys can wear you down a little bit. As a netminder, it's the ups and downs, just like a stock. He's heated back up. As the team goes, Waylon Esch goes as well. Vice versa. It might just be as Waylon Esch goes, the Utica Junior Comets go, because he's 8-5, 2-1, 276 goals against, a 912 saves percentage. He's got 2 shutouts on the year. He's made 466 saves. This Utica team really, really stellar, Lucas. I don't think I can say much more about how good these guys have been. Catching up to the top of the pack, which is going to be tough to do. IHC and South Shore right now, they're like two like battleships back in like the British Navy versus like Pirates Day, or British Navy versus the French Day, or British Navy honestly versus any Navy, because they were doing a lot of naval battling back in the day, where they're just kind of broadside to one another and just lobbing cannons at each other, just volleying and firing, just going after it.
That's basically what it is, right? It's essentially the movie Master and Commander, but on frozen water instead of actual water. Big Master and Commander fan. Now I guess I'm going to have to rewatch it to gain more insight into the South Shore Kings and Islanders Hockey Club. I mean, if I have to do the work, I will do the work. Everybody knows that.
I love you putting in the work, man. Now, let's get to our picks of the week. An update on the standings. Lucas Jones still in the lead. He's on a Tiger Woods pace right now. Kicked off the season in the lead. Hasn't relinquished it. 13-3 in his picks. If judge me on what I get wrong, because I have so few incorrect picks, is what Lucas is saying. Dan K, 1 game behind, 12-4. Could this be the week? Lucas, you were in the lead. This week, I will allow you to pick what our first pick will be. I guess pick your first pick. Go ahead. What game do you want?
So last time we did this, I was accused, wrongfully so, of being a little soft with my picks, of faking the fact that I was challenging myself.
Yes.
No such accusations will be tolerated. Friday, December 1st, at the Skate 3 Red Rink at 6:30 p.m., the Utica Junior Comets take on the Islanders Hockey Club. I'm going Utica. I think Utica starts on the road. I think Utica starts with IHC. How do you be the man? You got to beat the man. Utica wants to be the man.
Utica, that's a big, like,
you
long road trip.
Don't like that.
That's a long road trip. That's a tough team in IHC. That's a beauty in Timmy K behind the bench. I'm excited to see that one take shape here, Lucas. We'll keep an eye on it. That's a big pick. So now, can I find the softest pick in here? No,
can I catch up a game on Lucas?
I'll find a good one as well. Lucas, I think we can both agree that our matchup of the weekend is going to be Provo and Ogden. Let's make that our pick of the weekend. Yep. So I'll avoid that one personally. Here's a tough one. Here's a tough one for you.
I think I know where you're looking too.
Saturday, 1 p.m., Ice Vault Rink 3. Yep. PAL goes on the road to the Jersey Hitmen. The Hitmen have won two straight. Coach Harris starting to figure things out. PAL's won 14 in a row.
Hmm.
That's some tough traffic to drive through early in the morning on a Saturday morning.
They got to leave it at 6 a.m.
You got to leave at 6 a.m. on Friday to get to Jersey 10 miles away in time for that game 1 p.m. on Saturday. That's how the traffic works up there. That's why Dan K's down here in Florida checking out palm trees and going for a run at the beach after this is done taping. I'm going to say the Jersey Hitmen catch a sleepwalking PAL team
Woohoo.
and win one at home. Because if you're a bird, Lucas, I'll be a bird as well, and that's a
Oh.
huge upset. That's a huge upset. I'd say that's a big one. If I were like our competitive league down at the tier 3 level and had gambling codes, I would say that this is like a 2.5 right here. This is a big one. Jersey Hitmen beat PAL.
Right, but since we don't have that, we can't say that. But and rightfully so. But I think you know what? I appreciate that you took a big swing. I like that. I think you know what? December's always a little weird, right? In all of our years of covering both the USPHL and the NCDC, December, January tend to get a little strange. You've got a couple of breaks in December. You've got the Thanksgiving break, you've got the holiday break, right? You get through the new year. January is a place where a lot of teams make up some ground. December a place too. I could see it.
I could see it as well. Provo and Ogden, Lucas. I think we both know how we have to pick. I think it's set itself this
Yeah.
way. I think it continues to have to be this way. The question is, are we going Friday game? Is it the first game of the set? Is that the one we're counting? Or we
I
can count all of them.
Yeah.
Let's count both of them.
No, you know what? Let's do this. We're deciding this live on
Oh,
the air.
he's backing off.
Here we go. So you've got a Friday game
Keep trying to
late.
change the club.
You've already got a Friday game late. You've got a Saturday game early. Let's pick the Saturday game late so we have a game in each time slot.
Sure, whatever you want. Whatever you
I got to
want,
go back
man.
and get my 6 iron.
Go back and change your club in the bag. Saturday night, that's it. Dan K's got Ogden. Lucas has Provo. This continues to be the kind of battle we're waging here between one another.
Yep.
Kenny Orlando will never let me down. I'll send him a real motivational text on Saturday, and basically that motivational text will be like MacGruber from the movie MacGruber, just begging him, please don't let me lose, Kenny.
Just
Please,
just
I
send
can't
him
do this.
send him the picture of himself from the win announcement photo just to hype himself up a little bit more.
I'll tell you what, man, guy's handsome as heck. You got a King's got to support Kings out there. We talk about this all the time. The Dan K Show is bringing back that ELE mantra. Everybody love everybody. We're here to support you all around the country, and we're so happy you guys are supporting us. We just got through Thanksgiving, and we're just so thankful for everything we're allowed to do, everything we're able to cover, all the travel we get to do all season long. We can't wait to see you NCDC fans out at Idaho Falls. We'll see some folks in Fort Wayne coming up this weekend. We'll also be in Vegas just before the Christmas break there. A lot of hockey still to come, a lot of NCDC hockey still to come, and we want you to be a part of the show. Reach out to us on social media at the underscore NK show with thoughts, with comments, with chirps, with laughs, with loves, with photos of your latest game, with videos of highlights, whatever you have, send them to us at the underscore NK show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or X if you want to call it that, or the Gram, or TikTok, wherever you want to send them to us at the underscore NK show. And CDC this week, Lucas, anything to say? Yeah, I'm kind of done too. I think I'm slowly getting back into it. You know, you get that break, you get the extra day off for a holiday, and it's just kind of tough to really get yourself back to it and get yourself going. You know, I had a nice kombucha this morning, had a little coffee, and now I'm gonna go for a run on the beach, and then we'll be better in no time. NCDC this week. Let us know who you think's gonna win it all. The Deneen Cup champion coming later this year in April.